What's up, everybody? Today I'm sitting down with Mr. Jacob Yancey to get his thoughts leading up to his upcoming fight on June 28th, I believe it is, for the Kings of Kickboxing X event.
Correct. Yep.
All right. How's it going, man? You doing okay?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Thank you so much for coming on today, taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down and talk to me. I've been able to see you compete twice in person. I think once was in 2023 at the Made Men Promotions, and I think it
Okay.
was in Louisville. And then I seen you at HRMMA once. And then I was actually supposed to see you a third time, but I think the bout was canceled this February
Yeah.
for HRMMA.
Somebody couldn't make weight for the second time.
Oh, I didn't know it was the second time. I thought it was just the first there. But
No, he didn't miss weight the first time. He just didn't show up to fight. He 3 days before the fight just pulled out, and then I had to fight that big old Cameron Ashby guy, and that was
okay.
not a pleasant experience.
I was gonna say Cameron's a big old dude. I've seen him fight a
I
couple
beat him.
times too, and he looks pretty mean. I mean, he's been a
Oh,
super guy every time I've talked to him. But
dude, he's as nice as he can be, but man, he hits hard. I beat him. I was his last loss,
yeah, I think
and
you
then
got
he's
the
been on a
decision win
tear.
there, didn't you?
Yeah, it was split, but it wasn't split. I won the second and third rounds as clear as day. So
Well, speaking of fighting, I'll get a little intro here to it. What inspired you to start fighting, and can you kind of give me a breakdown of what your fighting
yeah,
journey's been like so far?
yeah, absolutely. So I wrestled in high school. Was gonna go wrestle in college. Got real homesick. I got real big, man. I got up to 315 pounds. Like I was miserable, hated life, and wanted to take back, control of my life and keep competing. I really missed the competition of wrestling. Got into a gym, and just kind of went on from there. And just been training and fighting ever since. I love it. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. It really changed my life.
Where did you get your nickname from? Your nickname is Stump, I believe.
Yeah, playing football, man. When I was in middle school, I think it was seventh or eighth grade. It was because I was low to the ground and didn't move a whole lot. Big kid. So it started out derogatory, and now I just own it. It is what it is.
Do you did anything in your time during football help you out? Does it help you out in your fighting? Do you think you learned any lessons in your time playing
Honestly,
football?
Honestly, no. Um, like I think everything came from wrestling. I think wrestling helped me with football more than football helped me with anything else.
How do you keep your focus when you're leading into a fight night? Is there anything you do differently on the day of your competition than you would normally?
Uh, I mean, not really. I kind of just try to, I get a little shakeout in the mornings just to make sure that I'm sweating and my hydration process went correctly. But honestly, just I really like to hang out with my wife, and then I'll hang out with like my best friend Tyler Stout, uh, coaches, stuff like that. I just wanted that headspace of I just want a good headspace going into the fight, not stressing about nothing, just being relaxed and chilling the whole day. Really.
You compete in some grappling and kickboxing specific matches too. Do any of those? Do you do those matches to kind of help you like hone in on a specific technique, or are you doing it? Like what drives you to do that versus just signing up for a regular MMA fight?
Just trying to, I guess really scratch the itch of competition between fights, but also to really help me like in those specific areas because I feel like my offensive wrestling is really really good. I feel like my striking, I feel like my striking is my best part of my game, but I always go back to my wrestling. So I try to get these kickboxing fights just to open back up so everybody can see it. And then I like to do the grappling matches just because I enjoy it. It's not you're not really going to get hurt unless you're just being a hard ass in a grappling match, hanging or letting people hang on to submissions for no reason, stuff like that. Like just tap and go on about it. It's not a fight. So just trying to stay active, keep competitions going.
How has your style evolved since you started competing?
Oh, I feel like it's evolved for the better, especially in the last year. I went from pretty much just being a grappler that wasn't as scared to, throw punches. And I joined a new gym, and I'm as thankful for that as I can be. I'm over at Two Brothers Muay Thai now, and you know, I feel like in the last year my striking's just, I mean, shoulders above where it was, head and shoulders above where it was. I couldn't be more thankful for them.
We were talking about your fights earlier. What was your toughest fight, and did you learn anything from it specifically?
I got two of them that were pretty tough. It was, of course, Cameron Ashby, and then that one you seen me in the Made Men. I feel like that was Jake Volperek. I feel like I learned a lot from both of them. One was a win, one was a loss. So in the win against Cameron, it was just I proved to myself that I could really dig deep and show that dog that I do have inside of me, that I'm not always just the nice guy that everybody sees, that I do have that side, that switch I can flip. And then with Jake, it was just gritty. He was a big guy, just that was my first loss I'd taken fight, and so it was like a kind of humbling and a reminder that I don't need to be fighting at 185. So
Do you like when the fight kind of like when you're starting into the cage for the day of the fight? Do you go in with the mindset that you want to accomplish something specifically, or are you more of an adaptive fighter where you're wanting to adapt to them more than your own style?
I just want to win, and I want to. I don't want to fight their style. I want to fight my style for the entire time, whether it's the full 9 minutes, the full or 30 seconds. It's my fight. We're fighting my way, and I'm not going to fight how my opponent wants to fight. That's a recipe for disaster. So
Have you ever been like really surprised in the cage by something you kind of didn't see coming or expect?
yeah, yeah. My last fight against George Reed. Uh, I went to return off a body kick, and I slipped into like literally watched my feet come out from under me, and ended up on a takedown. Took him down. Was in control on top for the entire first round, and he chucked up an armbar with 20 seconds, and I just didn't even see it coming. As soon as he locked it in, I think he's a purple belt, so as soon as he locked it in, it was over. So that was probably the most surprising thing I've seen in a fight, was just how quick he got that armbar up.
Kind of what goes through your mind when you're like in an exchange? I know it's kind of you're always having to adapt and think when you're in a grappling exchange, though, compared to on the feet. Is it more of a slow paced, like not like slow paced, but
Uh-huh.
a deliberate like chess match, I guess would be the
Yeah.
word, or would
So I feel like on the ground, it's a little bit slower for me, just because I have that wrestling background. I don't mind the scrambles and stuff like that, so I feel like I can really I break it down. I see it a little bit slower. I can feel it with my body a little bit better. Whereas the striking, it's like the striking, I want to be explosive and powerful, and I'm moving my head offline and trying to find the shots and stuff like that. And I kind of like that chaos a little bit more. So.
um, where do you envision yourself going with your fighting career? Obviously, everybody wants to be the champion and
Yeah,
titles, but outside of that, is there anything that you're hoping that fighting can kind of help you get into or accomplish?
I'm, of course, I want to make it to the UFC. I mean, that's my ultimate goal. I mean, I feel like if you don't say that, then why are you wasting everybody's time? Um, but I want to give my coaches and my wife, especially my wife, everything that I can. I would love to be able to retire my wife to where she doesn't have to worry about working. I'd love to be able to buy my coaches a gym and just give them everything. I mean, that's my ultimate goal.
What do you do outside of the cage? Is there any hobbies or anything
Yeah.
in particular that you enjoy?
I mean, I don't have any hobbies other than, I mean, it is quite literally, I mean, I'm training from the time I get off work till the time I go to bed. I wake up, I go to work, I go to the gym, I come home and go to bed. So, I'm an assistant home builder now. So I build houses during the day and then go and fight at night.
Is there any advice you'd give to somebody who's looking to get into the fight game or into just MMA
Uh,
or
yeah, absolutely. Go do it. You're gonna get a good sense of self. You're going to realize that you're not as bad as you thought you were at the beginning. The respect level grows, a lot just for everybody. Make sure you get with the right gym for what you want. If you want to be a fighter, then you need to find the coaches that are going to dedicate their time to you. If you just want to get into it, just be a hobbyist, and you go to find a gym where there's a lot of hobbyists where you just go and have fun and occasionally compete.
I think so far in my time being, I just kind of lucked into getting into going
Yeah,
to all these events and stuff, but everybody's been super nice, and I've not had a bad experience with anybody
yeah,
so far.
absolutely.
It's an awesome community to be a part of. Just getting to meet everybody. That's why I like doing this. I'm just getting to meet everybody and get to know the coaches and the promoters and the fighters, and it is an awesome
Yeah,
kind of
man, it's
environment.
that everybody just has that level of respect for each other because we all know what everybody goes through each day. It's a we also know like what the outcomes are every time you step in the cage. So it's like it's just the respect, the mutual respect between everybody, I believe.
Do you have a preference in like the events you compete in? Do you like MMA over the?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm an MMA fighter. I'm not a kickboxer. I'm not a grappler. I'm an MMA fighter. So when I'm doing stuff like this, it's just to make sure that I can sharpen these specific games for when I step back into the cage.
Do you have a dream fight that you would um, like want to compete
Man,
with somebody in the cage?
if I ever get good enough, like I'd love to fight somebody like a Justin Gaethje. Honestly, I think that'd be a fun fight. Or if I'm fighting at 45 when I turn pro, somebody like a Volk would be a sick fight because we're both kind of the same build. So
Yeah, they it's crazy to kind of see like how quick some people move up through the
yeah,
ranks and
isn't
stuff. So
it
some of the
wild?
stuff's not even that like out of.
No, and I'm young, man. I'm only 23 years old, so it's like I've been fighting for. I think this is year number 3. I think my first fight was when I was 20. So it's like I'm still. I've got a lot of time ahead of me, so there's no telling. When this all starts clicking for me, I think I can just take off.
To see it, man, it's going to be. I guarantee you that it's like just such a wild experience to just be kind of
I,
just rolling
I love
through.
it,
But
man. I love it. I'd fight 6 times a year if I could, man.
I know you've been pretty active. Like I said, I haven't been kind of going to these local events as
Yeah.
recently as I think 2023. Actually, that was my first fight. Was the Made Men, the first local fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
but so just to see, I've
Really?
seen you 3 or 4 times. It's crazy just to see that
Yeah,
you do stay pretty active,
I
and that's
appreciate it.
just out of the fights
I
that I've seen.
try. It's a I think I've been fighting for 3 years, like I said, and I've got 7 fights. So, and I've been through 9 camps. I've had 2 people. I've had 2 fight cancellations. So
What's the
I'd have
hardest part
it.
of your camp?
Oh, make him
Making
wait for sure. Yeah, it's always the. I get a little too big in between camps. That 315-pound kid comes out every time I can turn back to the food. So
what's your
it's
what's your
all.
go-to meal once you get out?
Oh, buddy. After every single fight, my family and I we go to Drake's, and I get a
I
patty
like
melt.
Drake's.
Oh, I
Drake's is
love
good.
them. It's very good.
Well, I want to get out of here on one last question here. I've asked this to everybody, and I'm a big music lover. I want to know what you're
Yeah,
listening to. What's on your playlist?
I listen to everything, man. It's a like my playlist. You're gonna listen to 90s rock. Some AC/DC. You'll get Kid Rock. You'll get like ESTG. You'll get Kanye, Drake, Future, and then there's Morgan Wallen and you know, Billy Carrington and like all those dudes, Hank Williams Jr. It's just I listen to whatever sounds good, man.
I can't remember what did you walk out to the last time you fought?
Uh, the last time I fought, I walked out to Ron Artest by Babyface Ray. Um, but I walk out to Texas Sun by Khruangbin more than anything else. I really liked that song. I walked out to the fight that you're talking about was like I did it as a memorial fight for my papaw because it was a couple days before his birthday. Uh, he had passed away, of course, and his favorite song was 409 by the Beach Boys. So I walked out to that and the Made Men. So
When you're walking out, how do you feel like right before you step out from behind the curtain? Is there anything kind of?
oh,
Do you do any
the
kind of like tradition before you step out or anything?
no, I'm just trying to embrace the feelings because if anybody says they're not nervous or scared, they're lying. Uh, and so it's trying to just, not fight those feelings of being nervous and scared. It's just embracing those feelings and and realizing that you're lucky enough to have those feelings. So it's just trying to compose yourself enough to go out there and just live in the moment.
I've heard that quite a lot from interviewing people, that if you don't get scared before you go out, you shouldn't be fighting.
No,
I
something you're
guarantee.
not. What are you even doing if you're not terrified? So.
Well, Jacob, I thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything you'd like to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to my sponsors, Ty Price with Get Some Fitness, also my grappling coach, GNC Fern Creek, Patrick Carter Tattoo, and then of course, thank you to Two Brothers Muay Thai, Team Wild Bunch. Love you boys to death. Wouldn't be nowhere near where I am now without you guys.
All right, everybody. Well, go check out Jacob in his next fight, and hit him up on all his social medias and everything, and go check out his sponsors for sure.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for coming on, taking time out of your day. I do appreciate it a lot, and I can't wait to see you compete again.
Absolutely, I appreciate you, brother. You take it easy.
Yes, sir. You too.